Welcome back, fourth graders. We received another postcard in the mail. Honey Rose is continuing her vacation, her trip through the Southeast, and she had spent a number of days actually at Kennedy Space Center. So Kennedy Space Center is one of those famous landmarks in the Southeast. We've been talking about landmarks, and this is one of them that you're going to hear a lot about if you were to travel down through the Southeast. So Honey Rose spent a few days there, and now she's moved on to another spot. But let's read what she said to us on this post. Hello, Shakopee Online fourth graders. I had such a great time touring the Kennedy Space Center these last 2 days. I even saw a rocket launch in person. There is so much to see here and learn about. I learned that astronaut Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. It happened back on July 20, 1969. I wonder if Mr. Stave was watching it on television back then. Did you know that NASA is trying to put an astronaut on Mars by the year 2030? Mars is the closest planet to Earth, but only half our size. So much to learn about. I'll write again soon. Honey Rose. So Honey Rose makes mention on her postcard about the planet Mars and how they're considering sending an astronaut to Mars by the year 2030, which isn't all that far from now. And as long as we're talking about Mars, we'll learn a little bit about this planet today. There's a rover currently on the surface of Mars. That rover is called Perseverance, and it's not the first one actually to have gone over that surface of Mars doing experiments and exploring, but it's the one that's happening right now as we talk. It's driving around real slowly, taking samples of the soil and doing experiments on what's called the red planet. So let's read just for a little bit. It says, what is Mars? Mars is one of the smallest planets in the solar system. It is only larger than Mercury. At 4,222 miles across, it is about half the size of Earth. Oh yeah, that's what Honey Rose mentioned in her postcard. Mars is nicknamed the Red Planet for the red dust that covers much of its surface. Its atmosphere is very thin and made mostly of the gas carbon dioxide. So knowing what we know about the atmosphere of Mars, Mars is not the kind of place that human life could exist without a lot of other things to help it, to support it. For example, right away, we need oxygen to breathe in. We breathe out carbon dioxide, so that part's fine. We breathe this out, but we need oxygen to breathe in. So we'd have to have oxygen and some sort of enclosure on the surface of Mars for us to be able to breathe in and have oxygen pumped in. There's also the idea of it being very thin. The atmosphere is very thin. There's not much to it. Not to mention the temperature of Mars. So there's lots of things to consider when they think about sending an astronaut to this planet. What kinds of things do they have to do to make sure that people could survive and live on Mars? From that information, we know then that astronauts would really struggle up there on the surface of the planet Mars. However, Perseverance, which is a robotic piece of machinery, it's a rover they call it. Look at all the wheels on this. It has all kinds of special instruments and things that allow it to explore the planet. This rover doesn't concern itself with oxygen. Doesn't matter about the thin atmosphere. Doesn't matter about carbon dioxide. Sending the rover to Mars is one thing, but sending astronauts, well, that's a completely different question. That's the question that's brought up here on this article from Scholastic News. Should we send astronauts to Mars? We know that they want to put an astronaut out into space and eventually land on Mars by the year 2030. But should we? Is it really something that should be done? So we're going to take a look at this art. Hang on. Oh, you know what, fourth graders? Let's put a pause right here. I'm getting a text from Honey Rose. I think she's out. Yep, looks like she's out on a beach somewhere. So let's take a second here and find out what she's up to today.
Hey, fourth graders. Hope you're having a great afternoon. I'm just relaxing here in the nice warm climates of Florida. I'm out here on Cocoa Beach, but I'll be talking to you again soon.
Wow. Honey Rose sent some pictures too. It sure looks beautiful down there in that warm climate of Florida along the beaches. I think she's trying to make us jealous, fourth graders. Oh, it gets even worse. She sent a video. Well, fourth graders, looks like Honey Rose is just having a relaxing beach day before she starts heading to another location. I guess that's an important part of vacations as well. So let's read this article. Should we send astronauts to Mars? It says, one of Earth's closest neighbors will soon have a new visitor. A robot named Perseverance is scheduled to land on Mars this month. Well, it's actually there now. This was written before, so it's landed and it's actually on the surface. It is the fifth rover. It's not the first one been there. It's the fifth one. A type of wheeled robot that NASA, there's that National Aeronautics Space Agency we talked about yesterday, NASA, has sent to the red planet since 1997. Scientists at the U.S. Space Agency will use Perseverance to explore the rust-colored planet. The rover will collect samples of rocks and dust. NASA hopes that one day the first astronauts to visit Mars will be able to bring those samples back to Earth to be studied. NASA is developing the technology needed to make such a trip possible in the next decade or two. Most experts agree that we'll one day be able to send humans to Mars, but not all of them think that we should. Just getting there would be difficult. Astronauts wouldn't arrive on Mars until at least 6 months after they blasted off from Earth. And they'd be landing on a desolate, there's a tricky word, desolate planet, where the air is unsafe to breathe and the temperatures average an icy cold, oh wow, look at that, minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit. We had a question about that, about the temperature on Mars, and there it is. The average, an icy cold 81 degrees Fahrenheit, 81 below, remember that minus, so below zero, minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's find out what this word desolate means too. That might help us understand things better. Down here in the words to know, desolate is deserted, lacking people, plants, and animals. Yeah, that would describe Mars pretty well, wouldn't it? So not all scientists agree we should be even thinking about sending someone to Mars. Some scientists then say, yes, we should send some astronauts to Mars, and other scientists are saying no. This goes along with the article, should we send astronauts to Mars? And you yourself probably have an opinion. You're starting to form an opinion about the yes or the no of that question. Using the information we found out about today and what you know from the past or things you've also learned from some of the books that are on Epic and some of the other things you've done, we're going to find out more about Mars and about that rover that's up there right now as we continue this tomorrow. On Canvas today, there's an assignment that goes along with your reading, along with the postcard as well. And hopefully we get some more information from Honey Rose as well as she spends her day out there on the beach. You have a great afternoon. We will see you again tomorrow.